I really like this version of the music. Hello, and welcome back to another Shadowbringers Early Access episode. I'm Demajen. I shall be your Warrior of Darkness for this narrative experience. And it is an experience full of emotions so far, and really cringeworthy voice acting by myself, of course. We are only got 1 day left of Early Access. So I'm trying to get as much of the story done as I can. Obviously, on the game's launch, there's going to be a surge of people. Probably not a huge number, because, of course, most people who are big fans of the game will have pre-ordered and got the early access. So, word from on high, our level 76 quest, which we're going to get 700k XP for. You'll notice that we're up at 30 million to get our next level. We've only got a third more to go. That's, as I say, is contemplating all that must yet be done in the wake of battle. Keeping in mind that the talk that Selk gave us, which we were going to go and discuss at the Crystarium, has been put off. We haven't had that talk yet about the veracity of it. So the stuff that I theorised about and speculated about in terms of the crisis of faith that the characters would have hasn't happened yet. It's kind of happened for us, or it was like a dialogue option that we chose in the last episode. But it's interesting that it hasn't been made a big deal of. Everybody's basically said, oh yeah, he's an Ascian, they lie. And yeah, I've got it in my head that the Ascians don't lie. They have not lied to us, as far as I know. Nothing that they have said has been, a blatant falsehood. Anyway, the others are helping to treat the wounded. I'm planning to assist in moving them, but even so, we simply don't have enough hands. I'm sure you're fit to fall over after what you've been through. Gods know I am. But if you could see to a few of the patients, it would be an enormous help. Captain Lena's about somewhere, so you might also consider asking her if there were any other outstanding areas of need. We'll talk later. Right. Let's go help some folks. Dying guard. Alpha, no, there's a dying guard over here. Oh, you're dealing with somebody. That's okay then. With tear-filled eyes, the prone man gazes up at you. His fingers twitch as if to reach for you, but he lacks the strength to raise his hand. Anguished guard. Thank you, but it's too late. One of them, it got me. If I turn, please kill me. I beg you. This is the worst thing about the Sin Eaters as an enemy. They just make more. Trembling guard. Don't touch me! I killed her. I killed her. She was one of them, I know, but I... So he's had to put down one of his own. Making enemies from your friends.
Oh, I did not see you there. Is there something you need?
No, I'm fine. How are you feeling? Shouldn't you be resting? What would the guard do without their captain?
Appoint another. A captain's place is with her soldiers in the field.
Suppose, but...
Don't pretend you are not of the same mind. You fought well today. Saved a great many lives. Thank you.
What we do?
Unfortunately, this war is far from over. We must replenish our ranks and shore up our defenses before they attack again.
Thing is, and this is something that video games have always had a bit of an issue with, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, if you look at World of Warcraft, for example, a game predicated on massive armies clashing. In any battle like this where there are huge numbers of casualties, you can't renew those ranks as quickly as video games make it appear to be. There's only so many people in the world, and you know, they need to be born and grow, and that takes literal time, years. So replenishing your ranks is very, very difficult to do after a large-scale conflict. And that's a reality of war that I don't think is shown particularly well in video games. Which is why people have got interesting views on war and, dare I say it, and this will be politically a hot potato as we know, things like gun control. You know, in video games, if you shoot somebody and they die, they respawn. In most games these days, or they have regenerating health. It's like, I know that there have been studies done that show that violence in video games does not equate to a violent person in real life. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. It's a setting of expectations that violence and war and death are casual, if that makes any sense. So this idea of replenishing our ranks, you know, you need a massive recruitment drive. There's not that many people in the Crystarium. Shoring up the defences, sure you can do, but they're going to consistently be short-manned, especially versus Sin Eaters that can just resurrect and renew and renew and renew. Every time somebody dies, they go over to the other side. They join the Sin Eaters' ranks. So it's an inevitability that unless something, us in this case, breaks that balance, it probably wouldn't have been much longer for this world to be completely obliterated, especially if we hadn't, you know, killed the Light Wardens.
Now, if you will excuse me.
I want all of these emotes. The Blessed One and the whichever. Oh. Is she?
I am fine.
You are not fine.
Completely and utterly fine. Better than fine. Hale and hearty and still alive to mourn those who are not. Who I failed to protect when they needed me most. We've come so far, so goddamn far! I could have sworn the end was in sight, and now... Now they will never see it.
Impudent worms of the Crystarium.
Oh, heck off, Valtteri. That was a powerful piece of voice acting. Jeez, didn't expect that.
The tragedy that has befallen you is of your own making. Divine retribution for your defiance.
Stole or blow up his airships.
The heavens have bequeathed to you a benevolent savior,
Huh.
me. I offer you freedom from pain and suffering. A paradise where man and sin-eater might live in peace and harmony. Why, already, our winged brothers and sisters regard me and mine as kin, alike to them in beauty and purity. But you not only reject my prophet hand, but raise your own against my sin-eaters. It is only right that they respond in kind. Let this be a lesson to all those who would walk the path of sin. The wicked shall not inherit this world!
We need to deal with Vothe. And we need to deal with him fairly soon, I would think. Oh, so that's why it's called Word from on High. Cleverly titled. I think that was me teleporting. No? Lena is gazing solemnly upward, and it is not difficult to guess what occupies her mind. Vathe's ship is already gone. How flattering that he came all the way this way just to give his little speech. I apologise for my earlier outburst. Rest assured that I have no intention of allowing any of my wounds to affect the performance of my duties, especially not now. If I may, could I ask that you seek out Thancred and Minfilia for me? They endangered themselves on my behalf, and I would feel better knowing that they are well looked after. Thancred, in particular, sustained quite an injury from that sin-eater. I would not be surprised if he were in Spagirix. Spagirix? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Still, please, give them my thanks. Whereabouts are they? Are they back at the Crystarium? Yeah, they are. Do I check before going flying around? Just a note, the voice acting has been really, really good throughout. Obviously, they can't voice act every single line. It would be so expensive. But the ones, the bits that they have done are good. You're here for me? You'll have to put up with me for the rest of it. I'm sorry to put you to the trouble. I'm fine, really. The eater landed an unfortunately solid blow, but the healers here have done wonders. I'm more worried about Minfilia. She's not taken it well. Did I ask you to speak with her? My attempts to reach out seem to have had the opposite effect. She's gone off to the Hortorium, ostensibly to fetch herbs for Chesimil, but... Just talk to her, will you? I don't know the map. Oops, that's a wall. This way? I think. This way? It is entirely guesswork at this point. We actually haven't spent all that much time in oof. I was just looking over the edge. I didn't actually realise you could fall down there. But you can. So that's good to know. Minfilia! ... Minfilia appears to be lost in thought. Perhaps a general poke will get her attention. Poke. Beep. Oh, Demajen, what are you doing here? Banquet. It's my fault, you know. I jumped at the chance to help Lena, but I was careless, and now... Not really! I mean, maybe I have to go back and watch that footage again, but I don't think she was particularly careless. I think she did everything that she could. Yeah, I don't think there was anything more that she could have done to prepare for that. Lena was about to be butchered. It's my fault. It's not your fault. You can make up for it by being there for him. It's interesting that some of these don't have the cinematic thing. I'm wondering if they should have. Because obviously this code is still in the game. And you'll be wanting to get those herbs for the healers. Oh, what have I done? I promised to be right back, and yet here I am. I know that I need to be better. I'm only allowed to be a part of this because I'm Minfilia and I need to be more like her. All I do is make mistakes, put others in danger. But you're right, I can still help, if only by seeing these herbs safely to Chesamil. There are only 2 left on the list, but I'll need to ask about this one. I've looked high and low and I can't seem to find it anywhere. Would you mind collecting the other? I'd hate to delay any longer than I already have. You're looking for something with soft leaves that's very fragrant, in an unmistakably medicinal way, I was told. You only need 2 sprigs or so. Once you've got them, you can bring them directly to Chesamil. Chesamil? Whoever gets there first can explain that the other will be back shortly. Thank you. I appreciate the help. Yeah, Minfilia is taking a lot on her shoulders. That one was easy. This plant has no scent whatsoever. This plant has rigid leaves and smells of fruits. Yeah, so the end of Act 3 has brought with it various crises of faith, I suppose, for everybody. We've had the revelations about Zodiac and Heidelin. We've had Minfilia's crisis here. And we still actually haven't had that conversation about what's happening to us, about the nature of primals. Ah, Minfilia told me you would be bringing the rest. Who's made it back first, then? Marvellous. With this, I can replenish our stores of medicines. We're struggling to keep up with the number of wounded that are being brought in. I wasn't on the field, but it doesn't matter. The patients' faces make plain that it was a horrible battle. And we're still feeling it, I suppose. Though with bitter medicine rather than sharp steel. But we'll win. I promise you that. It seems that I owe you an apology for dragging you to yet another battlefield when you've just come off the front lines. In both cases, I'm sure your efforts saved more than a few. With Spiragics in good working order, the Christian's people will be well cared for. More lie ahead, of course. Battles only you can fight. Not that we intend to let you do it alone. That's a matter to discuss with the Exarch. You know the Exarch? Yes. We do. Was there something you needed? I need you to tell him something, for me. My dearest friend, you see. He was there on the battlefield with me. But only the one of us is here to speak of it. At the end, before the wound killed him, I heard his dying words. I never knew that our world was so beautiful. He told me. I'm so glad that I got to see the night sky. I don't know how the Exarch feels about what happened out there. Don't know if what Vathy said is true. If our losses were our just deserts and we doom ourselves to worse by continuing to fight this fight. But I believe in the Warrior of Darkness. In the Crystal Exarch. I don't think what they've done is wrong, and I don't think we're wrong to fight with them either. My friend, he smiled in the end. Just as he smiled when he raised his glass to celebrate the return of night. That's how I want to remember him. So I want to tell the Exarch, don't give up. Don't give in. Please. We'll tell him. You have my word. I was kind of expecting that soldier to say that they were leaving, actually. So that's a nice little twist of expectations. Small favours. The best way out... Ooh. Titan Bronze headgear. If you're ready, why not go on ahead to the Ocular? You can keep the Exarch company while I fetch Alphino. Nah, just leave him. Don't worry, I mean to borrow the swiftest ammo I can find, so we shouldn't keep you long. Be sure to pass on that message, eh? I shall do so. Ah, I see you have the same gear as me. You're a gunbreaker, aren't you? You have business with the Crystal Exarch? Yes, I do. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, Crystal Exarch. I'm still waiting for some revelations about this guy's motivation. I still think he's not entirely on the level. Welcome, my friend. Tales of your heroism on the battlefield precede you, but I confess I find them more gladdening than surprising. I hear no few of our people have you to thank for plucking them from the jaws of death. Would that they had not needed saving to begin with, but the responsibility for that lies with me. One of our soldiers said that. Thank you. Rest assured that I fully intend to continue our work. I will not shrink from what must be done. Now, least of all. Though I mourn the lost, I will not lose myself to grief, and should regret be my constant companion, I will follow the path I have chosen to its end. Ooh, we have some time before the others arrive if you'd like to talk. Or as will I. Of that, I have no doubts. And if ever we should appear to falter, it will only be because we are fatigued after a battle well fought. I thank you for your kind words. Now, we have plans to make, do we not? Ah, maybe I should have had the other option. Maybe they would have led to more dialogue choices. Or other dialogue choices. It's hard to tell, unfortunately. You can't go back.
My friends, with your aid, we have weathered a brutal assault.
You really have. Oh, hello, Emmett. Hi.
Sorry I'm late, though I would not have been had anyone thought to notify me in advance.
As I was saying, It was only with your aid that we weathered this assault. Without it, the Crystarium and all who dwell here would now be gone.
Pretty much.
For each we saved, another perished. If there is anything else we can do to help, anything at all, you need only ask. This is our home too, and we want nothing more than to keep it safe.
Thank you. We are blessed to have you with us. As for the attack itself, Vorthri may call it divine retribution, but Sin Eaters are creatures of instinct. A coordinated assault is unprecedented. Moreover, in the absence of a Light Warden, there should have been no compulsion for lesser Sin Eaters to congregate here en masse. All of which points to a single, unavoidable conclusion.
I hope it's not us. I hope we are not the lure.
That these minions of light answer to a higher power.
Innocence.
He who did claim kinship with them, who did boast of control, not in idleness, 'twould seem, but in earnest. Lord Vorthri.
Or Vorthri. I still think Vorthri might actually be a... Actually, I don't know whether I've voiced this. You know, I've been talking about the face on Vorthri's chest. I'm wondering if he is some kind of gestation pod, in a sense. And at some point in the story, he is going to crack open like a cocoon and birth some super powerful Sin Eater as maybe his final form.
Indeed. What I mistook for bluster was in fact the truth. The Sin Eaters are his to command. But if he imagines this show of force will convince us to bend the knee, he is sorely mistaken.
I take it your meeting in Yulmore did not end well.
No.
You could say that, yes. But I am wiser for the experience nevertheless.
I still want to know why he's made of crystal.
A technique which allows him to enslave the minds of others. A fact I discovered when he attempted to use it on me.
That would go some way towards explaining the peculiar reverence afforded him by his subjects.
Yes.
There may feasibly be a handful of true believers among them, I suppose. But it would not surprise me if the vast majority were...
And we need to go and break his power. Are we going back to Yulmore now? I suppose we should be, because I think 75, 76 was the level of fates and stuff in the other half of the continent that we couldn't get to.
Had I not anticipated his treachery, I might well have joined them. But seeing his invitation for what it was, I sent a glamour in my stead. I rather doubt such tricks will avail me a second time, however.
Did you have any luck tracking down the Light Warden in Calusia?
Nope.
Sadly, I have nothing to report on that front. What of Armorang?
After a fruitless few days scouring ruins, I resorted to asking the locals. While no one I spoke to had seen any sign of the Warden, I did uncover a
Or are we going to Armorang
an
first?
abandoned mine in western Armorang. From what the Maud told me, it would be a perfect place to stay out of sight.
Ah, now we saw a dungeon in the Dungeon Walkthrough reveal trailer that was kind of a crystal mine, which I called Copper Bell 3.0 or 5.0 or something. Is that where we're going next?
Of course, I could never hope to explore such a labyrinth quickly or safely on my own, so I returned here.
Smart.
Even should we all join in the endeavor, an exhaustive search could take weeks, and with no guarantee of finding anything.
The split up?
The Wardens harbor vast reservoirs of primordial light, do they not? Far beyond anything found in lesser Sin Eaters.
Yes.
And isn't it true that the Oracle could see the light of a Sin Eater from miles away? Surely a Warden would seem like a blazing beacon by comparison. To the real Oracle of Light, I mean. The real Minfilia.
But you've got that power within you.
If we travel to Armorang, to the south where she halted the flood, I could summon her back. What do you think?
Don't.
Don't what? Do what I can. What we both know is right.
Do not presume to know my mind. You have no idea what you're proposing.
Fill her in then.
But I do. I know why you never said anything. Because you thought you could keep me safe by keeping me in the dark. And maybe I thought so too. But I knew, Thancred. I always knew.
Oh, I see. I thought you were a rather underwhelming reincarnation. But it all makes sense now. The Oracle lies dormant within you, doesn't she? But to draw on her true power, you must become one, both body and soul.
Yup.
To wit, one being must consume the other. Who shall be the lucky winner?
This doesn't concern you, Ascian.
But it plainly concerns you. Which is why your heart is ready to burst out of your chest. Despite the raging tempest in your bosom, however, you have never once opened up to your young charge. Now, why would that be?
He is still, even though he is trying to be helpful, he is still sowing chaos. He is still being an antagonist. He is antagonizing Thancred. Because he still loves Minfilia.
Love. Well, I for one think it's a marvelous idea. Certainly more promising than any of your other suggestions. So, it's off to Armorang we go.
I'll meet you at the gates.
Angry Thancred is angry. Yeah, it's a hard decision. I mean, if Thancred agrees with this, then he has to either sacrifice the life of a young child or lose Minfilia, his Minfilia forever. It's a horrible choice. No guards. If we'd only been able to locate Calusi's Lightwood, it might not come to this. Can't imagine what Thancred must be feeling to behave this way. It reminds me of father. They argued with us for months about a plan to go to yours, but in the end he accepted our decision. I hope he's doing well. Thancred is unable to accept. Minfilia demonstrated impressive resolve. It seems she understands what must be done. I wonder if she's truly prepared to make the choice. Should she falter, it will fall to Thancred to guide her, however much he wishes it were otherwise. Will you ever go tired of shuffling your feet? If you have something to ask, ask me. Tell me about Zodiark. As I told you before, Zodiark is the creation of my people, the first people. We summoned him as your kind might summon a primal, albeit an infinitely more powerful one. And like one of your primals, he tempered us. It was only natural, there is no resisting such power. And so we Ascians came to exist solely to bring about the rule of darkness, his darkness. Of course, some would call us evil for it, and they would be fools. Though that is only to be expected given their innate inability to conceive the nature of our universe. But I believe I'm repeating myself. Do you not trust me to speak honestly? Do you hope to catch me in a lie? Really? I have no need of deception, and even if I did, I assure you, you would find it quite indistinguishable from the truth. Glad we talked to him. I'm sorry to be so insistent, but I know this is the only way. If you're willing to give me a chance, come with us. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the opportunity to talk to Emmett Selk whenever it presents itself. Normally, I would talk to every story NPC in between talking to quest givers. But it's not like this is a... it's not like this is a short series as it is. So when New Game Plus comes in 5.1, I'll probably do all that for myself just to fill out any gaps, because I'm sure there will be gaps in what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, things that are probably explained. I'd really like a new sword, if I'm honest. Kind of annoyed I didn't get one from the Katana Ravel. Hi, Minnie. Sorry for the wait. I'm ready now. And you're sure you want to do this? Completely sure? Look, no matter what happens to me, I'm sure that I don't want to go back to being who I was. I want to be stronger, strong enough to face my destiny, and I want to believe that I can play a part in saving this world. I hope you can find it in yourself to believe it too. Oh, it's not that I don't believe you. When you put it that way, how could we not? It is your decision to make. Just be sure you are prepared when the time comes. If all are assembled, shall we depart? We'll follow your lead. What route would you have us take? About that, there's something I neglected to mention. Oh? I saw a Yulmoran airship coming into land over Armoren while I was on my way back to the Crystarium. No doubt the same vessel that bore Vorthu's forces to Rak'Tika. Meaning we can expect to encounter armed resistance on our journey through the region. Right. Now, Nabathareng lies in the southern reaches of Armoren, and there are two routes we can take to get there. The first is the eastern route, which would lead us past Mordsuk, which is the one that we took already. The other is the western route, which would require us to pass through the hills of Amber. Minfilia and I took the eastern route last time. Yes. Oops. Yes, that's the more well-trodden path. It also makes for easier traversal of the Nabath Severance. But we can't use it. If we did, we need to cross the Severance from a point nearby the inn at Journey's Head. If the Yulmorans caught wind of our approach, it would very well bring them into contact with the inn and its patients, and we can be sure their activities would not meet with Valthu's approval. Yeah, and in Taslene's memory, we are not going to have that happen. It will make the journey more arduous, but I believe it would be safer to take the western route, which brings me to my proposition. While you make for the hills of Amber in the west, I will draw the Yulmorans' attention elsewhere to an area in the east that I know to be uninhabited. That way, you'll have a chance at reaching Nabathareng unopposed and without risk to civilians. I cannot deny that it's a sound plan, but nor can I allow you to go alone. My skills will make your task at least somewhat easier, will they not? I will accompany you as well. It would afford us a chance to have a proper conversation. And if I go with the others, I'm likely to say something Thancred will regret. Well then, we'll leave the work of distracting Valthu's forces to you. The rest of us will take the western route and try to avoid attracting attention. With that in mind, I think it best we follow the road from the bridges. We'll move faster with a solid path under our feet. We'll borrow a few ammo for our journey. For our own journey. I'll leave the rest to you, Minfilia. Thank you. I'll try not to disappoint. And on we go. Speak with Thancred. Where is Thancred? Thancred is outside the gates. No preference. There's only 9 people in each zone. You may or may not have noticed, but I changed to Spriggan for this, for the reduced logging queues. Oh yeah, I can fly here, can I? Ah, blue skies. It's no longer raining. Makes a nice change. I'm assuming. Yes. Down here. We're already there. Urianger. Would that all we all had thy surety of purpose. Need to move quickly. The longer the others need to keep the Yulmorans busy, the more likely they are to be caught. Yes. And we'll find out. Yeah, we need to move quickly, he says. And ends the episode there. That is going to be it for this. I suspect that next episode we are... Well, I don't suspect. It's very clear that we're going to be going to the other side of Amarang in the next episode. Let's see what happens next. Let's see what choice Minfilia makes. And most importantly, I think, let's see how Thancred reacts to that. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you are enjoying this narrative experience. I'm certainly enjoying playing and narrating it, even if my voice acting is getting worse and worse as we go. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Remember to ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, toodle pip.